What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Business Breakthrough. Back again, and I've had a little bit of a leave of absence, just kind of just head down, grinding out. But we came through with an awesome business breakthrough with Josh Byars of JB Painting. Really, guys, it was about deciding what's optional and what's mandatory. This was a really solid business breakthrough that I think anyone listening is going to get extreme benefit out of. Just want to thank you guys for your commitment to this podcast. Thank you for those of you who jumped on with me, who still continue to listen and still continue to grow. This was an awesome one. And just to encourage anyone out there that wants some advice on business, you want to chat with me for a few minutes during a business breakthrough, please feel free to sign up. You can actually click the link in the description of the podcast, absolutely free. There's no charge, no upsell at the end, no nothing. So just happy to chat with you and help you in your business. All right. So check it out next. And the Contractor Secrets podcast starts right now. Contractors all over the world are wanting more time, more freedom, more impact. The way we do this is through implementing systems, processes, standards. Welcome to the Contractor Secrets podcast. Here we hit business strategy, coaching, mindset, motivation, the tools you need for success. So strap in, listen up, and get ready to grow on the Contractor Secrets podcast. What is going on, everyone? I'm here with Josh Byars of JB Painting and Home Improvement. Hey man, you're here. Tell me why. What is the big thing that you're wanting to overcome? And then after you answer that question, just tell me a little bit about what's going on in the business. What it is that you do. And just give me a brief overview.
So basically, I do painting and home renovations, framing, drywall,
Okay.
painting, basic plumbing and electrical. But my focus is I want to make painting the priority, so I'm not stretching myself thin. The goal is to get a crew together. Right now, it's just me working jobs. I got a couple of real estate buddies, some investors, but I'm trying to make the business, legit.
Yeah.
And, listening to the podcast, sort of like a legacy thing, trying to
Right.
build something so that my kids can work for me if they want when they get a little older, that type of thing. So
Love that, man. Absolutely. What did you do before this?
I was in real estate for a while.
Okay.
I did that. I worked a little. So I did, like, a long time ago, I did some landscaping, but like pretty much for the past 8 years, I've been doing painting and home renovation just by myself.
Got it. Got it. Cool. So let's talk about, what's the state of the business now? Are you the business? Like, do you have any employees? What's that situation?
Yeah. So it's brand new, literally. I just got my LLC. It's just me. I'm doing a drip job demo with you to, try to get a CRM going.
Thank you.
I got an appointment on Monday with a marketing guy, try to get my website up and going.
There you go.
Getting some business cards made, trying to get a logo, a brand going.
Love that. But you've been doing this stuff prior to this, just without the mindset of let's get this thing legitimate, right?
Exactly. It's just me making money, basically, and I didn't want it to stay that way.
Sure. Well, you're on a good momentum swing. I mean, the first thing you did, I appreciate you looking into software and then, looking into getting your online presence up. These are all things that I preach. I'm sure you've heard. My biggest concern, and this is just par for the course, is how quickly you adjust from I need to do the work to I need to pay someone to do the work. And, you've been surviving for 8 years on and off simply by you doing the work. You trust yourself immensely. That's going to be the hardest thing. You and I both know that. So let's talk about what thoughts you've had about bringing in new help. What thoughts have you had about hiring? What does that look like for you?
And honestly, that's where I'm kind of at a roadblock. I wasn't sure if I should try to do some on Indeed. I was listening to your podcast, and I think the approach of trying to take on an apprentice type thing and train someone, I'd like to go that route.
Yeah.
I kind of really don't know where to start, to be honest.
Legacies, a legacy mindset is, I gotta find a way or make a way in
Yeah.
every aspect of what you're about to head into, because there's this peak, that you're gonna hit, but it can only be hit unless in one possible way, and that is if you go hard on marketing and you go hard on hiring and they clash, and that's the hardest part of what you're doing. And guess what? It doesn't stop. It'll never stop. But the hardest time that you'll ever go through is in the beginning, because that's what sets the tone. It's like the big bang, man. It's like, I got to go hard on marketing, software, right? Investing, spending more money than you probably ever spent on this sort of stuff. Super uncomfortable, right? And then the hiring, and it's from your perspective, it's like, hiring is an option. And I can hear it in your tone, and part of me coming here today and is kind of pointing out some blind spots. So don't take offense to that. I'm just saying I could hear it in your tone. You think it's optional. It's not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not optional, man. This isn't one of those things where it's like, well, I could probably get an apprentice. No, 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 no. If you want a legacy, it's like, this is a must, bro. It's like now, like ads, learn how to hire. And it's not so much learning how to hire people. It's easy to tell people to come to work for you. It's a matter of learning how to acquire. That's the secret. Like the big challenge is acquiring the right people. And that takes skill. Not only does that take skill, it takes a system, it takes a process, because again, if it were as easy as putting up an ad, then we wouldn't have any issues with hiring. And it's literally, I find myself talking about hiring 60 to 70% of the time I do these. So,
Yeah.
I guess the first thing that we should think about is, what the heck are you going to have someone do in your business? And I'm looking at your company name. It says JB Painting and Home Improvement. Hey, you're already deep to where I know that you've got probably some ads, like some marketing things and like all this, but like the biggest mistake is that home improvement thing, because the thing
Yeah.
about it is, it's like, dude, home improvement means like 80 different things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, if you go to a restaurant, and you want Mexican food, if they said, Tom's Mexican food and burgers, you know, you don't, they might be okay at both, but they're not going to be great at one. People aren't going to
Right.
be talking about it the same way they talk about, Los Ojos, Mexican grill, so
Right.
just a funny analogy, but I just want you to see, not only do we need to look at marketing in a way that, we like, because we're very tied to our brands initially, we care about that stuff, but we got to look at it in the eyes of our customers. And
Right.
not only do we need to look at the eyes of our customers, we got to look at the eyes of the people that are going to apply for us. So when
Right.
somebody sees JB Painting and Home Improvement, they might be a little apprehensive because maybe they don't want to do home improvement. That means remodeling. That means drywall. That means all
Right.
these things that a painter doesn't want to do because they're
Right.
painters. So you're almost, because of your business name, you could be repelling help. And we don't want any friction when it comes to the market for hiring us to do work, or the market for employees wanting to work with us,
Okay.
because any friction is just going to be a hindrance to you. And I'm just letting you know early on, you can't afford friction. You have to be able to just be in the eyes of a customer. You have to be a specialist. Okay. Or you're going to be a generalist, and generalists don't get paid.
Yeah.
Generalists don't even know what they do. They just do everything and think that they're doing something. But what you're going to find as a generalist, the last 8 years, you and I should both agree, it's been a general thing, is that you found that you were working way too hard. And that's what we want to avoid. Would you agree?
Yeah. Completely. And that's what's kind of the things, I was asking around and on some of the Facebook groups, on if I should limit it to just painting, if I should stretch myself out and try to do the other stuff. So I'm glad you brought that up, because
Josh,
that
the
was something else.
mindset, yeah, and the thought process behind that is, well, what if there's not enough paint work,
Right.
and I want to do other things, right? And it's like, again, that mindset is going to hurt you, because it's like, if you just focus on just one thing, whether it's home improvement or whether it's painting, I don't really care. But again, within home improvement, get ready. because
Yeah.
people are going to call you to fix a leak, and they're
Yeah.
going to call you and that's going to waste your marketing dollars. That's going to waste, it's just, there's so much to that. Um, be a specialist. And again, because not only does it attract the market, it helps the people that you want to be interested in working with you understand what they're going to be doing.
Right.
So those are just a couple thoughts preliminarily that we need to make sure that we get out of the way, because that's where the hiring process starts. And then of course, you said a little bit about online presence. Again, you want to be able to tell that marketing company, hey, we paint houses, we do interior and exterior painting. you know, Generally speaking, if you say that you do home improvement, they're going to try to create home improvement ads, but I mean, imagine that you're just going to waste your money. So,
Right.
okay. So we've narrowed that down. Suggestion here, change the name to JB Painting. It's early enough to where, yeah, it's going to be a pain in the butt. You got to file for your LLC. You just got to file an amendment, and just change the name, and if you have a bank account, you got to change it there. Right now, again, you might have some marketing materials that you purchased. You're going to save much more money in the future,
Right.
changing it up. Okay.
Okay.
So with that said, when you worked for the last 8 years, how did you get your business? What did you do?
Primarily it was through real estate buddies. Um, people buying and selling homes, they would
Okay.
refer me. So I'll go in and get to work that way. And I also worked for a couple investors, pay cash for homes, and then they would
Okay.
hire me to do uh, any renovations they needed
Right.
to the house, and then painting as well.
Right.
And then just basically word of mouth, friends, family, word of mouth through them. So those are my
Right.
three main avenues.
Yeah. So again, going into this, man, you almost have to be reborn. And the thing is if you're not careful, those things that you're used to are going to just transfer into your new business. And I love that you have this new mentality of getting all these things in order. But again, if old habits and old, processes creep in, you're going to find yourself in the same position with just better branding.
Right.
So
Right.
we don't want that, right? So everything that you do needs to be different. You've got to learn how to pay for ads, and you have to learn how to convert those opportunities into sales. I'm
Okay.
not saying that word of mouth and realtors and all these things are great, but typically realtors want a deal for their customers. So you're going to be in a position where, you're doing work for a lot less than you could if you generated your own business and you sold it in a way that a customer was working directly with you instead of through a realtor trying to get their customer a deal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And you've experienced this.
Yeah.
So not really a good lead source. I mean, I've been doing this for 5 years. I've never really thought that realtors are a great lead source. I mean, they're
Yeah.
okay. I've even done a presentation in front of 15 realtors thinking that, it would generate some business. And all I've gotten were people that were looking for a quick deal to sell their home, and
Yeah.
yeah, there's some people that want move-in ready work, which is usually pretty good, but doesn't happen as much as I thought. So,
Yeah.
that could just be me, but I'm just saying, like, not something to rely on. Word of mouth. Word of mouth is so dangerous in the beginning, because what's going to happen is, hey Josh, can you do this? Hey Josh, do you guys do this? And if you don't have confidence that more leads are going to come in the next week, every week, it's going to be a steady flow of lead flow. You say yes, because obviously that's a survival technique. You got to do the
Right.
work, right? So then you find yourself
Right.
remodeling a kitchen when you should be painting,
Right.
and then guess what? The
Yeah.
people that you hire are going to be frustrated because that's not what they signed up for. So
Yeah.
do you see how I'm getting to the point of what I said earlier about how there's a big bang that has to occur between going all in on marketing and then going all in on hiring and then seeing
Yeah.
it clash, and then you build some momentum there, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So honestly, man, like, you said my favorite word, legacy, man. And it's like, dude, you got to almost pretend that you don't know how to paint, but you're a businessman and you're trying to put together a painting business.
Okay.
How do you feel about that? I mean, is that something that can you make that mindset shift?
Right. Yeah, that's gonna definitely be, I think, my biggest challenge. Just being used to doing it myself. And
I put out a post in the painting contractors group, man, where I almost said that, like, guys like you have such an opportunity to supersede guys like me. I'm not a painter. I'm okay. Like, I could do it if I, but
yeah,
you have skill sets that you've literally had to use to survive for the last 8 years. Okay.
Yeah.
And you've learned business by default. You've learned, you know, how to put together a bid, you know, how to sell a job, like, you know, all this stuff, bro. You've already mastered, or as close to mastering as possible, the physical aspects of the business, and you're moderate at the business aspects of the business. So you don't really have much of a learning curve when it comes to business, which is just really applying the principles that I'm telling you. And in most cases, like with business, if you just hire experts to do these things, you don't even need to get good at it, right? I'm not going to say, hey,
Right.
Josh, you need to master Facebook ads, right? Like, I'm
Right.
not going to say that. I'm going to say, Josh, you need to pay someone that mastered Facebook ads and have them send you leads. Okay, well, great. Now you have a monthly marketing team in your business without you having to recruit that team and train that team and oversee that team. You just pay someone to do it, right? That's the beauty of the way this works, right? So you've done marketing, administration. If you go with Dripjobs, obviously you've created a system of following up with customers and engaging with your customers, and then of course putting together professional bids and scheduling. So you've obviously you're paying for something to help you do that. So what's left? If you've got marketing taken care of, and let's assume that you have a team of employees or a couple workers taking care of your production, and you have a software that helps you with the administration side, you don't really even need anyone in the office, right? What's left?
Getting paid.
Sales. Close. Sales.
Right.
So the only thing that you should be focusing on is sales.
Right.
Because you have someone generating you business. You have a software keeping you organized and helping you, you know, manage projects and, you know, manage that lead flow, right?
Yeah.
And then if you focus on recruiting and you get a couple guys, obviously your skill set that you need to get good at, because you understand production, because you've done it for 8 years, is just sales, right? Which is probably an area that you don't have much experience in, because many of the people that you've worked for have been pretty much handed to you on a silver platter.
Yeah.
You didn't really have to hustle. And if you want to create a legacy, there's got to be a hustle muscle, right? You got to have that thing in you, dude. That's like, I got 3 guys to feed and a family, you know. I did a little talk up north in Pennsylvania. And one of the things I talked about was my impact tree, right? When I first started my business, I was really only impacting 2 people. You know, I didn't have a family. That was it. Like, so if I didn't sell a job, it's like, well, whatever, I'm not going to work. And, you know, my dad won't, you know, would be like, hey, we don't have any work tomorrow. And then, you know, now my impact tree has like 70 people on it. So like, if I don't wake up every day and hustle, you know, that's going to impact everyone. And I'm just giving you an example of like, you know, learn that muscle early. And it's almost like when you go into a home, you've got to have a strategy, you know? So the first thing I want to talk about, and I know I'm going a lot, I'm trying to just feed you with as much information as possible. I know I'm going kind of fast, but the most important thing that you need to understand is that hiring is a must now. It is not an option. Okay. It's it, right? Yeah. So commit to hiring today. Commit to going through the process of learning how to put out an ad. Commit to learning the process of filtering out applicants. Commit to learning a process of doing phone interviews. I want you to pretend that you just purchased a franchise called JB Painting. Okay. The owners of that franchise are going to tell you, as the franchisee, you need to hire and recruit 2 people to paint jobs for you. Okay. Then they're going to tell you, you need to hire a marketing company, or some franchises to do the marketing for you, but that's not our situation right now. You need to hire a marketing company to market for you, to get your name out there in this new area that you're servicing and put you in front of customers. And then they're going to tell you, you need to use this software, and this software is going to put together the marketing, and it's going to put together the production. So you have a nice, easy way to manage the business. And all you need to do is oversee the production and make sure customers are happy and make sure jobs are being done right, and go to estimates. It's a mindset thing, dude.
Yeah.
Do not paint anymore. Do not work anymore. And I'm tired of getting on here giving people a pass, because it's not healthy. It's just enabling, you know, and I'm not going to sit here and enable you and say, hey, you know what, work for a little bit. No, dude, I've seen too many people. Look up Brad Ellison, man. He's on my podcast. He's been on there 3 times. This guy started a painting business literally like a month ago and it's already hitting 100,000 a month in sales. Okay. Wow. By applying principles. He paid marketers, he used the software, and he does sales. Yeah. That's it. And he recruited subs to do the work. Just a mindset, man. I mean, it's insane. Okay. What questions do you have, man? I don't want to go too far off without, I know some things probably popped up and I'm hyped up here on some espresso. So I'm going hard today, man.
No, no, I appreciate it. I appreciate all the information. Yeah, I guess the biggest thing. Do you know of any like um, sales? I don't know, guru like stuff to read or like
Yeah. Yeah.
stuff to
Well, let
like
me
get
tell
in
you
to
something.
become a
You're going to,
better a
great.
sales guy, or is it like I
Awesome
don't know?
question, man. Here's the thing. I want you to understand sales. I'm going to give it to you as simple as possible, man. You are sales. Okay.
Yeah,
Like sales, there's strategies behind sales, but the best thing you can be is yourself. And
yeah,
if you have a strong production system in this business, you're going to convey confidence. Confidence is the strongest thing in sales. If the confidence is legitimate by default, you're gonna convey trust. Okay. So in other words, the flip side of that is, let's say that you go into someone's home and they want a job done, but you're not confident that your team can get it done, but you need the job. Okay.
yeah,
People will feel that you are manipulating, and that's a
right,
strong word, but it's almost like you're over talking. You're not, they can feel that. I can feel it when somebody isn't legitimate, but when someone comes in with a presence that says, absolutely, I have a great team, we're going to get this done, this is how it's going to go, this is our time frame, this is what our schedule looks like, and this is a job that's right up our alley. You being someone that has been a technician in the term of someone that's been working in this field and understands the game so well, you're naturally going to convey confidence simply by how you educate your customers. So I don't want to deviate you to the point and say, hey, you need to read a book. No, you
right,
need to
right,
create a strong production team. And that team for you is going to be two people that work under your supervision. Okay. And that is your goal. You need to hire two people, one with paint experience, one without painting experience. Let's keep it simple. Okay.
okay,
And go paint some jobs and go learn that system and put someone in charge and then build a team around them. And it's like, I look at it like this, man. You said my word, so you fired me up, man. Your family is counting on you to do this.
yeah,
You're getting tired. Obviously, it's been 8 years of you busting your butt. Okay. All right. But you
yeah,
you don't let it go to waste. Don't go into this doing the same thing with a different logo. Right.
right, right,
Like it's not the idea. So to be honest, don't worry about a sales book. Just worry about creating the best product possible. It'll sell itself. When you get to a point where you have the best product possible and it's just being refined and you want to create a new product, then that's when you refine your sales process to the point where you can capitalize on more opportunity faster. So in other
okay,
words, like that's where sales strategy comes in. But in the
yeah,
beginning, all you need is 4 opportunities and you close 1. So if you have a 25% closing ratio, which is like you sell 1 out of 4 jobs, that's enough
yeah,
to keep your team busy. So in other words, even if you got really, really good at sales, you wouldn't be able to keep up with the demand of those sales anyway right now. The
right,
most important thing for you, obviously, you want to get reps in so you can listen to questions and have better responses as you continue to do estimates. But the focus is get that team of 2, get them to a point where they can produce a quality job without you being there. Okay.
right,
If they can
right,
do that, if you can leave for the day and come back at the end of the day and know that the job was, number 1, done well, and number 2, the customer was taken care of as close to the same way you would if you were on the job. At that point in time, you've stumbled across a treasure that 99% of people who try to do this game are in pursuit of.
right, right. Okay, I appreciate that. Also, I guess another big question, like, so with working with real estate agents and investors, like you said, I'm not getting the most money possible. And whenever I would talk to them or homeowners, I think I would get in too much of like a bartering system as opposed to, I guess, accurately estimating pricing that might be a little higher now than what I'm
Yeah.
used to, type of thing.
Right.
I don't know if there's any, and I know pricing is different depending on where you live and all that
Sure.
jazz, but I
Sure.
don't know. That's just something that was on my mind.
Right. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
You like sports?
I do like sports. Yeah.
What's your favorite
Yeah.
sports team?
Pistons, baby.
Pistons, right? Okay.
Yeah,
Same game. Okay. Some people sit up in the nosebleeds and some people sit on the floor. Okay.
sure.
Same
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
So, in other words, why do people pay more? Tell me.
Better
What?
quality, better
Better
seat.
what? Better seat, right? Better what? Experience, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So in other words, again, same game, same atmosphere, different
Yeah.
experience, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. First of all, you got to realize that some people will never pay to sit on the bench at a Pistons game, including myself. I don't like the Pistons, so I probably wouldn't spend that money, right? So there's some people in other words, I don't value the Pistons, right? But you do. So there's people that don't value their home and painting the same way other people do. And that could be a mix between a few things. One of which is they've never been through a poor experience that have created enough of a drive to value it. In other words, they haven't got a bad tattoo yet, right? You get a bad tattoo, guess what? You pay more for the next guy that knows exactly what they're doing, right? So we can't take that personal. We just got to understand that, we can continue to educate them, but if they've never been through a bad experience and understand that, hey, what I'm offering is extreme value to you in terms of our communication and all that stuff, guess what? I can understand why you wouldn't pay as much. So you can't let that influence whether or not your pricing is good or bad. The thing about it is again, I'm going to go back to this. You have not had enough reps. You have to get in front of the right customer. In other words, if I'm trying to sell floor tickets to a Pistons game, are you in Detroit or are you just a random
suburb of Detroit? Yep.
So you're in Detroit. So in other words, but there's people in Detroit that could care less about the Pistons, right?
Yeah.
I don't give a damn, right? So in other words, if I'm only doing estimates, if I'm doing one estimate a week, I have to hope that I'm landing in front of a Pistons fan.
Yeah.
You understand? Especially if it's word of mouth. So in other words, like that person wasn't vetted. Not only are they not a Pistons fan, they don't like basketball. So in other words, they're not a JB painting fan. They don't even care about their house. And then you go in there and try to sell a job for the price you want. And they don't value either one. They just want paint on the wall. Right. So the thing about marketing and why marketing is important, because number one, it attracts people that like painting because they're attracted to the ad. And number two, if it's done right, they'll be attracted to people that like JB painting because you're the one who put the freaking ad out. So when you show up at the house, there's a certain perception and you're stacking the deck against your pricing because you're dealing with people that want to deal with you because they have some sort of attraction to whatever it is that you put out there. So I just want you to understand that is that don't utilize those experiences as, what you would consider a truth of people don't want to pay enough for my services. We can't say that's true because I don't know if you've actually been in front of people that want to work with you. Sales is about perception. So one of the things that Dripjobs does really well is create the perception that you are above average. That is a focus of ours when we build the software. So in other words, like, I look at it like this, that initial interaction. So let's just say, for example, and I'm going to help you understand how perception can sway someone's buying decision in terms of how much they spend. Okay. So let's say this, when a realtor would give someone your number, okay, that's usually how it worked, right? They gave you your number.
Yeah.
They would call you. Okay. Now, and you might laugh at this. Is your business number your cell phone number?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Okay. So let me ask you another question. Please be honest. How do you answer the phone?
Just, hey, this is Josh.
Hey, this is Josh. Okay. And you say that for everyone. It could be your aunt if the number's not saved, right? Hey, this is Josh, right? And you're just hoping that, it's okay. So from there, customer says, I'd like an estimate. I got your number from Joe, the realtor. How do you proceed?
Just basically ask them, okay, where do you live? When's a good day for me to come out, check out your house type of thing.
Absolutely. Okay. So when you get that information, what do you do?
I say, all right, sounds good. I'm free these days. Do they work for you? And then, go to set up a time.
Where are you putting the information?
Well, yeah, that's just it. I'm just
right there.
A piece of paper, like a journal.
Paper journal. Okay, cool. So let's stop there. Okay. So there's some friction there. And then there's sometimes where you'll say, hey, can you text me your information? Maybe you're really busy, right? Has that ever happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was a subpar greeting. Not your fault. Just giving you some coaching here, right? Subpar greeting. And I don't want to be disrespectful, man. This is
no, it's cool. I understand.
Cool. All right. Subpar greeting, subpar experience, no follow-up, nothing. And hopefully you show up. Okay.
Yeah.
So the perception is this was an average experience. So I should expect to pay an average amount of money. Right.
Right. Yeah.
Let's look at what my business does.
Yeah.
Same customer. I got your number from Joe. Okay. Perfect. Excellent. So what do you want done? Oh, I'd like interior painting. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. But when they call, let's go back a little bit because I skipped that part. When they call, obviously separating my business and my personal phone with an app called Open Phone. If you don't have this app, you need to get it. Open Phone. Best phone system out there. Okay. Phenomenal. Open Phone. Anyway, so it rings my phone letting me know that my business line was called. So when I see it, I know that it's a business call and I say, thank you for calling Premium Painting. This is Tanner. How may I help you? Right off the bat, perception. I'm dealing with a professional company. They don't know I have 10 or 11 employees, and I've been answering the phone that way since I started my business. So you don't need to be big, okay, to act small, right?
Yeah.
So answer the phone with that greeting, professional greeting. Now they're like, okay, so there's a gauge going on in their head. Like, okay, all right, this is good. I trust this company. All right, cool. Imagine they just called you before that, and then they talk to us, and I say, great, what do you want done? Oh, I'd love an interior painting quote. Okay, do you want me to give you my information? I say, no, absolutely not. We make it really easy. I'm just going to send you a link and just fill out this form. Tell us what days you want, and then we'll book your estimate within 1 to 2 hours. Okay, we'll pick the time for you, right? So they say, great. I send the link from the Dripjobs app. They click it, they fill out their information. And then when they click that button, within seconds, a text message shoots to them and says, thank you so much for, requesting an appointment. It routes them to our website after they do that so they can look at our reviews, right? Okay, and then from there, in my system, I go in and I approve the request inside of Dripjobs. They get a confirmation. Your appointment is with Premium Painting has been approved for, tomorrow at 9:00 in the morning at this location. We're so excited to meet with you. Right.
Yeah.
So when we show up, all right, same customer, different experience. People pay more for a better experience. Yeah. That's the reality of the situation. So this is sales before we even give a price, bro.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? So in other words, like all of these things play into part. And if you really dial into how you are as a consumer, you're the same way. There's grocery stores that sell chicken on the east side of town, and there's grocery stores that sell chicken on the west side of town. Same chickens might even be from the same damn farm. Guess what? You're going to the other side of town because you get a better experience. There's a bagger there that's going to bag your groceries and make you feel safe. On the west side of town or whatever the other side of town is, you don't even know if you're going to come out of that grocery store without getting into a scuffle. Okay. So just giving you some fun analogies to help you understand that, we got to shift that mindset to experience. People are going to pay more for that.
No, it's cool. I appreciate it. Makes perfect sense. What was that program you use for payroll and stuff again?
Yeah. So again, that's, when we talk about experience on the customer side, right? Perception. Okay. That's really what it comes down to, is they're perceiving you in a way that exudes trust and confidence. We want our employees to feel the same way. Okay. Yeah. And the reason why is because, again, we want them to be committed. We want them to feel as though this is a step up from where they were before, and that induces motivation and it creates loyalty because, again, they don't want to go back to something not as professional because they finally feel as though, and this is the opportunity we have in this industry, because it's not like, you're a bank and you're recruiting people that worked at another bank that had a payroll company. You think anyone is excited about freaking direct deposit if they worked at a bank and now they work at another bank or worked at a professional setting? No. But in our industry, if you tell someone, hey man, we're going to give you direct deposit, they're like, really? Right. So what an opportunity. And that to me is again, another must. It's called Gusto. Gusto is phenomenal. One of my other favorite apps, that you should totally invest in. There's a link in the description of this podcast if you want to listen, if you want to check that out. But yeah, so Gusto is super simple. Just to give you a brief overview, you just add their email in, and then Gusto onboards them, gets all their information, all their bank account information, logs them in, gives them a login. And then all you do after you set it up initially, which takes an hour or so when you first sign up, is you just put in the hours that they worked. And then that's it. Gusto takes the money out of your bank account, puts it in theirs, pays the taxes in between, and you're legitimate. You just pretty much have an HR department at your disposal.
Nice. Very cool.
So, these things help, man, again, like creating the perception, but you got to start hiring. So let me ask you this. You have 2 people that you need to hire. Let me ask you kind of before this conversation, if I were to talk to you, what would be the strategy to recruit those 2 people? And, do you think that's even possible to get someone this week?
I think the best way would probably have to be to invest in something like Indeed, where I actually can put down what my expectations are, who I want, what they can expect of me. And so it's visible, because otherwise I'll just be asking around. You know what I mean?
Right.
People
And
I
that's
know.
almost like word of mouth, isn't it? Right.
Exactly. Yep.
It's like,
Yep.
hey, anybody got any
Yep.
work? You know?
Exactly. Exactly.
So again, yeah, setting the expectations of what you want, not only in terms of skill set, but in terms of character. Okay. I have a hiring course. You may have heard me talk about it. Happy to give it to you for free, man. I want you to take advantage of just some of the strategies in there. It's going to speed up your learning curve. You should set a goal that you should have 2 hires by next Friday. And I think that might seem a little like, whoa, uncomfortable. But if you want to create a legacy, dude, your life is going to be uncomfortable. To create comfort, right? That's the goal. You do uncomfortable things now for comfort in the future, whether that's for yourself or for your family, right? Soon it's going to be almost like easy for you. Like, in other words, you're gonna be like, oh, I need 2 people. Cool. I'm going to do my process. I'm going to refine that process, and I'm going to just spit out an employee. So Indeed is right now the hottest, man. Like, you got to understand, it's like wherever the people are, that's where we want to put our face in front of. So the budget should be $40 a day. Right now, that's what I'm seeing. I got 80 applicants again on an ad I put out on Monday at $40 a day for a house painting employee.
Wow.
Yeah, 80 applicants. You're in a good business. People want to do it. You know, it's not like you're doing underwater, boat cleaning. It's like, dude, you're painting houses. People would love to do this profession, and want to learn it. That's what I'm saying. Find somebody with a lot of experience, and then find somebody with no experience that just has experience with, like, maybe some landscaping, or somebody that can put their head down and work. Build that team. But if I give you any rules, I'm telling you, if you follow this advice, in a month from now, you'll be a different person. You'll have a different experience in business. You'll probably be much more fulfilled in terms of like what you've created. But if you don't take my advice, you're going to want to reach back out again, talking about these same things, and probably replay this. So I'm going to give you the things that we talked about so you can remember. Number 1, hiring is not optional. Like, that's a qualification for entry if you want to create a legacy. If you just want to create a job for yourself, then yeah, it's optional. But you told me you want to create a legacy, so I'm giving you what you need. Second thing is that perception is everything. Get a business phone, get Gusto. Okay. When's our demo for Dripjobs? Is it today?
I think it's at 10. Yeah. Try to do it back.
So we're just going to bounce. All right, cool. So we're going to ride the wave of momentum right there. So that's cool.
Right.
So you're meeting me right after here for Dripjobs. Love that. Okay. So the third thing is obviously we said hiring wasn't optional, but aggressive hiring is optional. But we're going to say that it's mandatory. $40 a day. Get that budget up to 40. Facilitate it in a way to where you can at least sit down with 3 or 4 people over the course of the next week. So in other words, aggressive hiring is when someone puts in that application, you're reviewing that application, you're sending them a message for a phone interview, right? That phone interview is within the next hour or so, or just tell them, hey, what's a good time today to talk? That's aggressive. And what you're doing by aggressively hiring is you're seeing how committed they are, right? If you don't hear a response back in 6 to 8 hours, you don't want that person, right? So we're not being desperate here, right? You have to look at it like momentum in business is very important. In other words, like, if I went and did an estimate for a customer, Josh, and that customer, we did the walk around. I was like, all right, actually real quick, I got to go to the store. I'll be right back. And then I go back and like finish the estimate. And she's like, all right, well, what's the price? And it's like, actually, hold on. I have to run to a job real quick and I'll be right back to give you your price. And it's like, no, there's a momentum of like that momentum swing. It's like, we're both entering this agreement together. Right. Like, it's just how it works. Right. And it's going to be smooth sailing. Right. And then that's how you want your hiring to go. It's like, they want an opportunity. You're ready to give one. That's when a hiring decision gets made. And then that's when you guys move up on the up and upswing. But if you get somebody where you're compromising along the way, like they're not totally committed, but they are sort of committed, it'll never work out. So aggressively hiring is, hey, phone interview. Can you talk today at 4:00? And if they take 8 hours to respond to you, say, actually, we moved forward with another applicant. In-person interview. Can you meet tomorrow at 3:00? Oh, well, I don't really do anything on the weekends. Okay, cool, man. Unfortunately, it's not a good fit. It's like, you want people that are hungry early in your business. You've got to have that level of standard, especially at this point, Josh, because you don't have time. Like, you got to make sure you find somebody that aligns with your vision, aligns with the standard. You obviously know the business so well to where you could teach it, which is, again, one of the biggest benefits for you. All that time that you worked was not wasted. It's going to make you a better project manager and a better trainer, right?
Yeah.
All right. So we've covered a few things. Optional doesn't exist. Sales, perception, you're focusing on that today. And then aggressive hiring is going to be so important. And number 4, here's the last thing, man. Listen, for some reason today, I just feel so called to give you this. Do not paint.
Okay.
That's it. Don't paint. You find a paintbrush in your hand, man. It's that you missed a step.
Okay.
You missed a step. Let's just assume that you're allergic to paint.
Okay.
Okay. All right. You can
Sounds
oversee
good.
and you can supervise and you can train, but like, don't paint. And number
Okay.
5 would be hire a marketer. All right. So did you hire a marketer, or is this somebody who's just building your website and like doing a few things? What does that look like?
It's a guy who my wife knows. He opened his own business, so I'm meeting with him on Monday. Kind of having a Zoom meeting, see what he offers, what he can do, his pricing, and all that stuff.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Not knocking them, but you need somebody that focuses on painting contractors. Okay.
Okay.
There's generalists and there's specialists, just like we discussed.
Okay. Okay.
All right. I have a recommendation for you. I'll give that to you separately. I just want you to know that you're not really at the luxury to let someone figure out how to market to customers for painting contractors. Right. You understand?
That's true. Yeah.
You don't have that luxury right now. And I'm not saying that this person's a bad person. I'm sure they run a nice marketing business, but many marketers are generalists. They'll market for the lawyer down the road, and then they're going to market for the painting contractor. How are you going to be effective at that?
Right. Yeah.
You can't. You need a marketer for painting contractors. You need somebody that works with painting contractors every single day.
Yeah.
If you want to be successful. That's like hiring an employee when you want a painter, but he's just happens to just do everything. And it's like, that's great, but I need someone that's really good at painting. So, you know, that knows how to spray and brush and roll and knows different substrates. So that's my focus. That's what I think.
Cool.
Okay.
So I appreciate that.
No problem. I'm going to give you my hiring course. I'm going to give you the referral, and then we're meeting here in about 15 minutes. So,
all right,
see you in 15 minutes, man.
All right. Thanks a lot, Dan. I really appreciate it.
Was this helpful, bro?
Very helpful. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, man. It's my pleasure. I'll check in with you in about 15 minutes.
All right. Thanks.
All right, man. See you.
All right.
What's up, guys? Thanks so much for listening to that awesome business breakthrough. I hope you got a lot out of it. So next up is a pro spotlight. We have Mark Bradford. He is a pro Dripjobs user, crushing it. Now, what's cool about Mark is that he was one of the people that was like literally on the fence. I couldn't get him to budge. I think he signed up one time and then didn't really use it, canceled, and then came back, and then he used it and he loves it now. So this was awesome to get him on to share what Dripjobs is doing for him. And hopefully, if you're on the fence, maybe you can see what Dripjobs can do for you.
What's up, everyone? I'm here with Mark Bradford. Okay, first of all, let me start with this. You were one of the most skeptical people to ever use Dripjobs. What's changed, man? Do you like it? Was it worth it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the biggest thing is like the return on investment is like instant. As soon as you integrate it with, you know, the stuff that you already have in place. You know, I linked it with my website, with my get a request a quote button.
Yeah.
And it's just every phone call that I get, for, you know, customers requesting an estimate, I just redirect them to the website, and Dripjobs takes over from there.
Love it.
So yeah, it's definitely been a game changer. I'm still learning some of the aspects of it. You know, and I think it's, you know, it's great that there's new and updated features coming in all the time. So I'm definitely excited for the Google Calendar when that comes.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, it's definitely made a huge difference.
Good.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that was one of the things, is because you and I had spoke before and you weren't sure if, you know, because sometimes it might feel like Dripjobs is too big, right? Because I know that you kind of do your own thing. Are you still, you know, solo?
Well, I do have a couple full-time guys and a part-time guy. So, you know,
cool.
it's,
all right.
Yeah, it's, we're definitely growing. You know, so we want to use, you know, whatever's appropriate as we grow. And I think that
grow,
you know,
into
Dripjobs,
it. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's still some features of Dripjobs that I don't utilize yet, but that's just because I need to take the time to really fine tune them and tweak them.
Absolutely.
So I still use every part of it. It's just there's some parts of my old estimating process that work in tandem.
Yep.
So eventually we'll be merging that.
Great.
Like I said, it's just, it's a fine tuning
So
process.
you got, a couple things. You mentioned the booking link, and I just want to make sure you know this. I know you're directing people to go to your website, but we added a button on the bottom menu. It says new request. Have you seen that on the Dripjobs app?
That I don't know that I've seen that. No.
You got to check it out. So if
Okay.
someone calls you, you hit that button and you just punch in their phone number and it sends them the link. So you don't have to say, hey, go to the website. You just hit that button, put in their phone number, and then just like that, they get the link to fill out the form.
Oh, even better. Yeah.
So save a step there. So you've been using it now for, I think, 2 months. We reached out to you because you're killing it. Just curious in terms of you've been sending proposals. Have people been responding to the automated messages?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, getting onto the Dripjobs drips and getting to scheduling has been very quick. Honestly, most of the responses that I've been getting through the automated responses have been like just
after
because
you send the proposal, mostly
after I send the proposal, right. And so I've gotten maybe 1 or 2 where they were kind of on the fence, and the automated email helped sway them over to the side.
Yeah.
So, but for the most part, it's, a lot of them have been just, I go out, do the estimate, and they want to get on the schedule within the next couple of days. So
huge, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
So overall, would you say, I mean, it's pretty easy, software can be pretty crazy. I mean, one of our focuses as a company is to like try to make it as simple as possible for you to get in, do what you need to do and get out. Do you feel as though like, it's pretty easy to navigate and use?
I think once you spend a good day and a half with it, it's, yeah, you can jump right in as long as you're, somewhat computer savvy. Absolutely. Yeah.
Love it,
So
man.
it's getting more user friendly, I feel like.
Yeah. Did you notice we
start.
started putting the lead sources there on the deal cards?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it's
I
just
like
being
that.
able to see where people come from, right?
Yeah, and the customers have been using it too. It's great.
Yeah. Well, we force them to on that form.
I wondered because it just started all of a sudden. I'm like, oh, word of mouth, cool.
Yeah, word of mouth. Okay. And you know what? Generally, people are really honest on there, which is cool. It's not like they just like pick whichever one. Because I'll kind of follow up. So I'm like, how'd you hear about us? Just to see if they lied. It's like, all right, that matches with what you put. It's like, I got data that I need to look at, lady. So make sure you're correct here.
Right.
No, that's awesome, man. So just last thing, man, I always like to end with this on one of these is you were on the fence more than, like I said, anyone. I think you tried it and then you didn't use it. And then I think Mike gave you a kick in the butt. And I was like, dude, give it a try. We sat down. If you could talk to somebody that's on the fence, maybe just doesn't have a good system or has their own system and they're thinking about Dripjobs, what's one thing you would say to them, to sway them?
I would say, I mean, you're not locked in, and it, like I said before, the return on investment's immediate. If you can present yourself well to the customer, Dripjobs will do the rest. Boom. That's it. Keep it simple. Mm-hmm.
Keep it simple. Mark, you're the man. Continued success for you, my friend. I see that you're growing, and I think it's only up from here. I appreciate your time, man. This was 100% voluntary on your part, bro, and it means a lot. You took time out of your day to do it. So thanks, man.
Thanks a lot, Tanner.